Ba-da-ba-ba-da-bam-bam. Good morning, folks. It's 7:56 a.m. on the 10th day, 6th month, 2025. Let's see. Yeah. Heads up, funk. The funk is getting it again. Here comes the funk. Dun, dun. Geoengineer that funk. What's this showing here? There it is. Okay, so it's live and I've just verified, so I'll be able to read comments, hopefully answer a few questions. And yes, the canned corridors in the site of the geoengineer, and it never fails, it seems, and I'm pointing it in its fail on my map. But I'm showing disastrous conditions. So we can expect this river over here, runs near this swamp, with this swamp that we're going to drain this swamp. No, anyways, over advanced views, it's going to be a very reflective view of some of the water running down by the railroad tracks and over here by the A1. I'm expecting a bunch of difficulties coming into, what's that, Belvedere? Yeah, Belvedere and its fails. Get ready again. Here it comes. Here it comes. It's just another once in a thousand year storms. So they're directing the river of moisture from Siam down over through Carpentaria and across here. Keeping it fairly dry over here over the next 10 days, which is nice to say. But the possibilities of other things going on is like fires and stuff. Those risks will begin to rise because a lot of fire accelerants have been deployed. We call them chemtrails, but nanometallics. They burn very efficiently, don't they? So we have to ask the wildfire fighters out there how things are going across the ground. Or it's a carpet of nanometals will do that. Yeah, you poor guys. Guys, I'm telling you, these totals are wrong. Okay, these totals are way off. And some of this corridor and the stripe, like, what's for my... I'll bring Mr. Squiggles into this. Let's bring Squiggles in. Some of the totals coming through the swath in the center here are going to be well over a quarter of a meter. They're keeping this as conservatively low. But I would be failing you if I didn't show you my concerns. Get up here. Yeah, thank you for showing me all these screens. I just want those to go down now. Desktop 1, desktop 2. What is this? Oh, it's part of the screenshot. Let's do that again. Now, thank you, everybody, for the help and support. I really appreciate it. And to answer some questions, yes, there is a way to do things a little more directly but there's fees involved and everything. But I've got to say thank you very much for sure, because I'm having difficulty accessing that part of GoFundMe, which is allows me to thank you directly. So how about I just do that here like this? You see this sweat through here? You're going to have about 5 tendrils. I've been watching the EMF already splitting them off. And they're sitting over in Thailand right now, and they're coming your way. And this should track through here, right through that corridor like that. And the reason I say that is because if I go over here and asshole worldview, yeah, look at that. We'll get back to that. You start to see the basic lines already set up here, where the EMF is spoken. Even yesterday might even keep the satellite break off that, because that's what that is. It's where the image. If you cut along those lines, you'd be able to make a sphere. So here we go. If I look in here, you start to see the EMF lines that are going to define this. And for some reason, I'm not happy with that. It's too white. Okay, you have start to see the lines that are defining where the flow is going to go. I want these names in. It's really important to me. So I got to reload this whole fucking screen. I will. What's this? I'm going to do something. It takes a moment. I want names on this, because this is important. When you start talking about flow and where things are going to go and where can they go out to sea, right? If I'm crossing over Carpentaria, for instance, I'm coming from over here. Where am I allowed to go out? And that's what this storm's going to be all about, is flow. Where are the flow lines? Right? The EMF here is very obvious. Right? If I do the zoom in on this, you'll see this plain as day, this beam here. There's a lot of beams that went on in this picture here. So I take you to white, high. Yeah, white lines still matter. You see these pulses that came down through here? And there's a little bit of a curve to that one.
That's throwing flow that way. Okay? Now, if I make a line, let's say, this scalar square here, that's blocked. All right? It doesn't want to go out to sea there. It wants to come through here. Path to resistance says no to that. Path to resistance says yes to this. So the flow line that's encouraged by the geoengineers even now is through here. And the pushing of backflow there, will it go over this or under it? And that will determine your storm. That will determine the conditions of volatility, as I call it, where you can find tornadic conditions, hail, downburst winds, and stuff like that. We did have quite a few pulses go across. Again, we had a big active here. See that right there? That's Alice Springs. This is Alice using its devices. And those Jordan devices that are designed to shoot missiles over the horizon, they can also energize the atmosphere or cause perturbations. You could see one pointing right at Exmouth there, Holt Base. It's obvious EMF pointing right at it. So I can see it's operating. But when I see a star like that, I think, well, that's more likely their next rad. It's probably not their big antenna, because their big antenna causes big pulsations. I measure waveforms over 15 miles apart. See the scalar square here holding it with this here in it? This is what's coming your way. This is shut. So that all this passage is here got to come through here. It is not going to be allowed in here. The EMF is shut it off. The EMF between the next reds on these islands here, like Singapore and down here in Jakarta and down here to like at Despensar Airport over in Bali, have shut those straits down. And so it can only come through here in Pappy to come in. It is going to be very precise. I'm expecting a lot of EMF around here over the next few days to direct the water in towards you poor folks over here. It's going to lead to totals about 250 through this swat in here. Right through this swat. Every bit of a quarter of a meter coming your way. You're not being warned. So usually after I do a broadcast like this, they do a warning. You see this spot right here? That's an epicenter of beaming. I'll show you. And this is going to affect New Zealand directly. Here, I'll go a little bit down. Very directly, because you got a beam shooting out from Auckland in a huge scalar square, which I hate to see on this island in particular during these moments when certain storms are coming ashore. Yeah, I don't think that's helping the view. Yeah, but this. You got a scalar square here, right over the top of Auckland area, right? And beams shooting out from their next red here, 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 and here. That's a scoop. Everything coming through here has a path of resistance, so the condensates collide. The small droplets that might be causing the mist suddenly are big enough to fall. You see the scalar squares here? I suspect you have a ship right here, right in this spot. Because I see its activity changing the condensates, modifying the weather. And that's going to make you seismically active. That's going to cause, there's a lot of waveforms bouncing about right here. Right in this area here. See this? The beams come down in that direction and across here, and you got a lot of pressure on the island. I'm very concerned. Even Auckland itself is in a higher risk for earthquakes now due to electromagnetic frequency and beams. And look at these beams here. You think that's going to do a favor to Fiji or Tonga or Vanuatu? No, it's not. Geoengineering can and does induce earthquakes via electromagnetic frequency. And if it's used like that, it's directed energy weapon. It's due. Yeah, it absolutely is. Somebody asked, is that due? 100%. It is a directed energy, and it seems to be weaponized. And if it's weaponized, then it's a weapon. And if the people of the world are the target, or is it just your soul, your energy, in your land, in your inheritance of the land itself that are being taken from you? As you think you own this land when this land owns you. You'll figure that out when you're in the clay one day. being consumed by other things. Oneness is like worms. And the worms ate into their food first and then brains. Yeah. What a fucking shame seeing totals like this. These are too low. Way too low. Hey, there's a Carter over here, and it's most likely you follow the hand. See these decks appearing? Oh, what has happened? Get back. All right, get back. Hey, wait a minute. What could I have here? Do I have an honest thing? Have they lied to you? Because on this date here, yesterday, at night, they were showing the truth until I told you guys, heads up. And as soon as I said heads up, they changed the totals. That's why I say, I think somebody wants you to be in harm's way. And that saddens me. That there would even be an elevation. Hey, look at that, it's up in the air, 1,000 feet in the air. That's above sea level. Get you some condensate. Drop down it in there. Right, so that water is going to run. Yep, and then a river ran through it. And I'll be monitoring what's going on. Because they're lying to you. And I don't like lies. I'm a big a fighter of lies, you should say. Because I was beat for lying as a kid. I've been beat ever since by the system now, and then some of you guys just for pointing out the obvious about things. Deep state players are going to play deep state games, right? Yeah, it's heavy totals showing up along the shorelines, and all this starts about it was about the 17th. For you guys up here is when I was going to start getting concerned. This 16th, my time is getting late in the afternoon for you guys. So I called it 17th through the 21st the other day, and I'm sticking with that. I just decided to show you guys today. Mimic, I showed you so I can close some bandwidth down. So let's show the event. I don't see wind being a huge factor, and I could take you through the everything. So New Zealand, hi, welcome to my world. Yeah, you're actually, you need this. So here's a continuation of your forecast, New Zealand. So let this run along. And yours wind is going to be a factor. There'll be thunder, there'll be lightning. Oh, when the cameras out, I see they are frightened. They beamed your asses. You see how the storm is kind of being a little bit less on a V shape to the east of Auckland? Well, it was caused by the path of resistance caused by them beams that Mimic so easily pointed out in the condensates it forms from the perturbations of the directed energy weapons being used to modify the weather to get an agenda to occur. It's a type of coercion, isn't it? Cause a problem. Tell you there's all these fledgling things and that they can do something about it. They should block the sun or geoengineer to mitigate it. But meanwhile, it was the geoengineers that induced the disaster. What was it the Joker said in the movie? And something along the lines of those that invent the disease or the problem, you sell the cure. Something along those lines. Well, here you go. Somebody says Flags High says that last night on the live box, they were going to get heavy rain tonight, and on Wednesday, now they say it's going to be sunny. Yeah, sure, right up the old wazoo. Well, you should see the winds that are going to hit Cook Strait here coming up in a few days. And this is when I'm going to turn the wind down. Wasn't that annoying? Look at this. Watch this. Watch this, watch this, watch this. Oh, did you see that, Melbourne? Did you see your winds? Yeah, I'm going to go right back to what I had. It's the gusts that bother me. Yeah, well, I couldn't have it. Right up the old wazoo. It's going right up the sphincter right there. You got great surf and wave. Very, very dramatic coastline up there. I feel very blessed to have gotten to go to Piha Beach up there. And walk along the black sands. Some choices, different places to eat would have been nice. The wind is blowing, man. This is a howler. Yep. Ronald Weasley. Yeah, yep. But don't worry. Hey, Donald Trump is ending chemtrails.
Bullshit. To make it so you have to have a permit in Florida, by the way, you can only get it's a $5,000 fine to billionaires if they violate it. Okay, you better do your homework for you guys quoting hopium to me. Because man, don't you think I want this to end? Don't you think my fondest wish is to go over here to this screen? It's not loaded. Yeah, no shit. And to see just no geoengineering. Like this plant that I think is blue that I zoom in and I see is chem bombed all to hell. Right, it's been done. I see it here. See the chem bomb in the middle of nowhere? Boom. Right, you thought you had a blue spot on the mar, but I go down here, it's like they're playing Trivial Pursuit. I'm out here off the coast of Auckland. Look at these blown out areas here where the condensates left the building and then reformed. It's like wedges in a pie of Trivial Pursuit. I'll tell you what, the name of the game is called honesty these days. And if we don't tell the truth, and the same method was used here, they just deployed more on top of it. You see the wedge shapes here that I'm pointing out with my cursor? I do the swearing and my cursor does the pointing. Hey, what's up with that? See the chem bombs here? That's sickness mix. You don't ever want to see this in the sky. And when this settles on the ground, it's highly flammable, highly flammable. You can induce flames with it through electromagnetic frequency vibrating the particles, like similar to a microwave vibrating stuff in it, bzz, bzz, kind of a noisy thing. On a subatomic level, things are happening. Look at the waveform on the edge of this, the curve of the sine wave. See it? It's evident as how to look at your skies, to see that you're getting fried, chemistry style right here, the bzzz design, causing flow lines. And in this case here, you got some blue skies for the trees, thank goodness. Nice weather for the skiers. See the slopes change colors? Well, how often does snow form in a square when it falls? And that's falling snow, you know, that color right there. Yeah, I see squares of snow. Even when the geostorms punch the clouds with EMF, it's going to fall in the square of perturbation of the area of its influence of waveform. That's just how that fucking works. All right? That's just science that you can trust because it's quantifiable. When I look out here, I see the wedgies. They're giving the sky a wedgie. And that's not nice, because wedgies can lead to bad cases of skyria. You get even like a pedo symbol in the center of this cloud. What in the fucking kind of unnatural shit is this? It's almost like it's the word pie written there. You see the E? Motherfuckers, you been sprayed like bugs. Shamo, chem bombs. Yeah, a bunch of fucking, the whole Trump hands zoo of it all. Oh my God. I'm trying to behave about that. The Republic, for which it stands, I pledged allegiance to, has something called states' rights that are never violated by a federal government. Shall never go into, like, let's say, your state here from another state and tell you what to do. Because you're not going along with some you as a state think is unfair for your citizenry. Okay, so I'm watching right now a coup. I'm watching the state rights being trampled, and an absolute excuse for a civil war and a secession from the Union. If the governor of the state of California asks for help, the federal government give it. And until that happens, there are some clauses that allow it to happen. And it was used by Roosevelt before. I can point that out. It's not first time. Well, he was bringing in some communism at the time, wasn't he? People didn't like that. But when I look at your geoengineered skies that are purely designed to flood you out and cause you malaise and make you want to move from areas that resorts are wanted to be built, Harvey Bay, and places like that, then I got to say I see a motive. I see a reason to flood you out. I see a reason for terrible totals. And I see a reason for you to say no to the Paris Agreement. So I'm going to continue to roll on. We had a bit of action come up the coast here, which is going to be some great surfing action along the coastline coming in through Thursday and Friday, up through Newcastle and Coffs. You guys will get up there if you like fun. 'Cause you'll have fun, fun, fun till the system takes your freedoms away. Fun, fun till the system took your freedom away. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo-hoo-hoo. Fun, fun, system took your freedom away. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo. That's what I think about that. I fucking do, because I'm just in a mood to just stop. I don't want to eat. I don't want to do nothing. I just want to stop. The men in high castles or Kembam Newcastle fried your ass with the big device. They got a big ass device there. You want to see that? They got a Tesla death ray over here. You ever seen it? You know, always love to point at Holt Base. And it's not HARP. HARP looks different. Look at this. Da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da. Da-da-da-da-da-da. If we can find Newcastle, we'll find it. Join Tesla's death ray. As with the zooms all on its own. Isn't that pleasant? Zooming in, zooming in, zooming out. Disco, baby. Look at this big bastard. That's a big boy right there. That's a frying pan. That's a spatula, man. Flip the clouds right over. In kilometers, of course. Have it. 1.9 kilometers. That's a Tesla death ray. See this setup in here? Watch this. I'll show you something. Tesla's death ray images. You can't deny this one. I'll show you. It's a textbook of it. You couldn't have designed it more obvious to me. Where is it? This is obvious. This here. This one. See this? That's what they built. They built this. It's that. That's those center lines. They have different type poles to connect it to the control box. It could shoot a beam out that can shoot lasers, like a laser to shoot missiles. It's because that's what that's designed for missile defense. And that's what that is. It's a Tesla death ray. Yeah. Well, then, trust in that science. Yeah, I know. He's gonna know. It's not like they gave you the Wardenclyffe Tower so you could have free electric and no bills. Yeah, imagine that, huh? If you can't put a meter on it, they not only are they going to fund it, they'll buy the patent up to make sure you can't have it. Welcome to the world of oppression. Yes, through monetary enslavement. Ooh, boom, go the truth. You don't like the truth, don't listen to my forecast. No vaccine is safe in my opinion. Yeah, I could get my videos taken down for having that opinion. Why? Because I watched my son get damaged. I watched my own body be damaged. Before I knew to inform my own consent as law says we should have. You know, how about that do no harm thing, huh? Oh boy, the harmacy. There are no curing wards in hospitals, only endless treatment. They don't know what they're doing if they're practicing. You go to the medical practice. All right, Newcastle, you was done. Now I get to go down here. Hi, Adelaide, how you doing? And Melbourne, a little bit of action coming your way on Friday. This is over midnight hours, so this will be Saturday afternoon. Your sky goes the weather's You get some water for the garden that's needed for some. Big smack for fucking Tassie though, and Melbourne coming in on. These are the overnight hours into Sunday morning, and with some more snows are expected up in the Alps. I've learned the difference. I won't call the Alps the Blue Mountains again. Ooh, another geo attack from the Blue Meanies. Club. Red Shoe Club. Nice club. Bastards. Ooh, the smacking things on the Monday. I'm not going to take you too far into the week because this is where I got to go up here and I'm more concerned for you guys. I'm tired, boss. Tired of being sick and tired. Tired of Kembam skies. Skyeria fires. Yeah, it's about looks like it'll be about a 36-hour belt down of a tendril. So the tropics is, if it mixes currently, I'd have to say the beams coming from up coast in this direction have got to go over the top of the tropicals to make this storm volatile. So I'll be watching for the geoengineering move happen about
I suspect it on Friday sometimes. I have a big ass beam to do that. So there'll be a solar mass ejection. They'll say there's an X flare or something to make an excuse for lying about the beams that I show. That's what they do. So I might as well write that down as a prediction for an X flare, which is fucking impossible to do. Unless you could predict a lie. And I could predict a government lie. Why? Because it's a government scam. Because you're too busy watching lies to open up your mind to make a world that's good. Who can lock you up tomorrow? Take away your dreams. Hit you with some EMF until you want to scream. So let's get it over to the moment of impact. Impact. You guys get winds in New Zealand. There's so many geostorms happening. But this is their first warning. And I gave New Zealand theirs the other day. And you're still accurate. Very accurate. And then she fucks off. Right on off. And I can go over here. Busy bees. Never stop pollinating. Pollinate. Unvaxxed burn taste great. So I hear. Train wreck guy. My shows ain't for children. Turn it fucking off if they're listening. They ain't supposed to hear this kind of stuff. That's right. I get to decide that. Poly, precipitate, wet bottoms. We're being sprayed like bugs whether you believe it or not. And whether you believe in this or not, it could kill you anyhow. Why is this going on? Because we let them. How are they affected by this too? Yes. And does the big computer that controls all this want the average billionaire's money in its pockets too? Yes. Do those billionaires and millionaires have access to health care? You got to wait in line for med beds that they can fund even the making of that you do not have access to? Yes. Can they buy EMF-proof paints, windows, and insulations, which are available? And I'd be happy to do a show about stuff like that at some point. How to mitigate waveform damage to your body, as is a topic I well know. And what's with the big freeze coming from the south? Bobby, I gotta say, I think it's called winter time. Winter. Which naturally happens when the Earth tilt gets just right. There's places in South Pole you can have sun shining. Here, the nighttime is lasting so long. And the sun looks like it's up at 3 in the morning. Going down at 11. Yeah, I think it's winter. But is it natural? Fuck no, man. Look at this shit. They're moving everything with bees. Bzz, 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 bring the cold here, put it there. Oh, like a Star Wars symbol in here, or an inverted symbol of a Norse symbol of war. This geo shit down here. Is it natural? No. Should it be cold this time of year? Oh, fuck yeah, man. It's winter. Why don't we put an extra color of freezing blue on there so you feel that 5 degrees is colder than it was? Get out of here. Water freezes is here. But you see the X marks the spot here, the geo stuff. Total flow control here at West. On the June 10th image I have. Yep. Very nasty. So yeah. No, but yeah. That's kind of what I think about that, Bobby Remick. But thank you for asking. Yeah, we do have seasons still. And you shouldn't put a map of temperatures like sometimes you see on the weather channels. They're like this brightest, reddest, deepest, like crimson red, like freaking blood's going all over the ground of a murder, and it's like 22 degrees. And I'm like, man, I need a jacket on that day. So it's such a sell for global warming that never occurred. Never, ever occurred. Even off the coast up here in the Arctic, they heat up the air to try to melt ice to change the statistic, and Mother Nature says, fuck you, I'm going to freeze the ice a little thicker, which is what's been happening. So they'll have to tell you global freezing. Does that mean suddenly we get to have CO2 back and they'll encourage the cows to fart? No. They've already imposed measures that taxes and sell products, and I'm zooming in on a big scalar square of energy over the People's Republic of China. Oh, no, that was Russia. This is China. They got their own scalar square right here. You can't tell me that the computer ain't controlling this. You can't tell me that everything politically in this planet ain't a shit show. It's designed to glean control of the shit show. Well, I'll tell you what. In a 3-ring circus full of fucking clowns, I'm tired of being told to shovel their shit. And I'm tired of breathing this shit. Day after day after day. I say this for the planet itself. We will stop it, or we will suffer the schmansequences. We are fucking around playing God. God's gonna show up. Pick a side. Big love. Stay safe. Peace.